M0FXB, welcome back to the channel. So quite often I get asked what's the best antenna to use, whether it's my VHF, UHF handheld or my HF radio. So my answer always is what's your location and how high up are you, and then of course what antenna are you using at the moment, because it varies so much with the different band that you're trying to have a contact on. So VHF and UHF is going to need a different type of antenna and have a different effect on the height of your setup. Also the band conditions. I have a long wire, it's a 49:1 Balun with 66 foot of long wire that's stretched across my yard. It's only about 10 foot from the ground, and then it runs along my fence and the 49:1 Balun at the beginning. And when the conditions are good, it works fantastic. And that's a very poor setup, and all I've done is grounded it just where it enters the window of my house. I've added an earth or just a spike into the ground, and no, I'm not getting world DX contacts because it's a very poor setup, but it completely fits what I would like to do, which is listen to Europe, have some contacts locally in the UK. I tend to prefer UK Europe contacts, and if America comes through, which it can do, especially if you go on the 10-11 meter bands, then I'm fine with that. Now if you buy let's say you buy a Quashang or a Bofang and you say to yourself, oh, if I get a different antenna, an expensive antenna, VHF, UHF antenna, I'll be able to get more contacts. Well, no, because it won't make any difference. I'm just here walking the dog, by the way. It won't make any difference, in my opinion, because like here I'm on a hill, okay? I'm on a hill. So if I bring up any of my radios here, VHF and UHF, airband, marine band, PMR, all those kind of things, I'm going to get great contacts because I'm elevated about, I don't know, about 50 meters. So I'm going to pick some stuff up, even if it's CB, yeah? I'm going to get something up here. Now HF's completely different. You're reliant on the conditions on the ionosphere. So your giant wave, and you've got to remember these waves for HF, it's all said 10 meters, 20 meters, 40 meters, 80 meters, 160. These waves are massive, yeah? So line of sight, which is imagine a string between me and another person, line of sight, doesn't matter so much. Not at all, in my opinion, because the wave's going up, and it's hitting the ionosphere, and depending on conditions, time of day, you're going to get some, you're going to get whether you get contacts or not. So I don't think that throwing lots of money at an antenna is going to get you what you actually want. Learning how to correctly make an antenna, whether it's a long wire or purchasing, the Bofang Quashang antennas, if you ask me, they work fine, but I've got to stand on a hill. I hear that quite often, there's no CB activity. There is, but you've got to go within range of a CB, which is quite short, and get up high, line of sight contact. I know with CB it's a funny one, it's the magic-y sort of type one, because it crosses over into HF 10-11 meters, and when the conditions are right, the skip, as we used to say, even a small length of wire is gonna get you some receive for definite. So I'm not an expert, I'm just a ham radio operator, and who just is saying that throwing money at an antenna, yeah, is not going to fix it. You've got to put the work in, the learning, create the correct ground plane. If you want to be worldwide contacts, cutting a length of wire exactly to the length of the band you're going to use is way more important than spending money. Also, how you hang that up. If you've got a long wire or a vertical antenna, where you put it is going to be crucial. You don't want it too near a house, you don't want it near any power cables, you don't want it near anything that's going to affect the signal. Mazzy has just found the biggest stick ever. Then you got to think about local QRM. So the amount of people that say, oh, my radio has got £9 or 30 plus signal, floor noise. The bands are rubbish, the bands are dead, it's complete rubbish. Go around your house, turn off all those chargers, especially battery car chargers, the cheap ones. They will wipe your signal out. Then look at all the LED lights in your house, turn them all off. Yeah, you grab your HF set, whether it's a cheap one or not, you plonk it in your garden, yeah, and connect the same antenna with a patch lead, yeah, and you watch how all the signals come to life. You take it by the beach and just power it from a battery, and you watch all the signals. The thing about the bands being dead is a complete myth. Yeah, the bands are affected completely by the solar cycle, and there's lots of charts that can show you how that's working. But the bands are not dead. They've never been dead. Yeah, there's the famous 11-year cycle, and sometimes it's better and worse, but they're never dead. I've been ham radio operator for 40 odd years, and I've never known the band's dead. Yeah, but I have walked into my shack, 9+ signal of interference, turned everything off in the shack, and hey presto, it all comes to life, even like I said, LED lights. So you got to put the work in. If you think you're going to sit back there and not try, spend thousands of pounds on equipment and suddenly have loads of contacts, no, you're not. You definitely got to put the work in, put the learning in. If it gets too much and you think, oh, I've had enough of this, well, try harder, because in everything needs a bit of work if you want to have a good result. Bye for now. Please like and subscribe. 7 Free, all the best.